Mushroom, oh mushroom, there's no fun when it rains or snows.
Qingyuan in Lishui, deep in the southwest of Zhejiang. The mountains and wilderness are vast, ancient and mysterious, and surging with the breath of life. This is the secret world of fungi. The combination of time and temperature nurtures a delicacy of the human world. The香菇 mushroom is the second most edible mushroom in the world. With its clean texture and fragrant flavor, it is known as the king of mountain delicacies. More than 800 years ago, Wu Sangong, the ancestor of香菇 mushrooms, invented the chop flower technique and successfully cultivated the world's first batch of artificially planted香菇 mushrooms. The technique of香菇mushroom cultivation began here and then traveled to the rest of the world. Longyan village in Qingyuan County is located at the northern foot of Baishanzu, the second highest peak in Zhejiang. Some earliest customs are still maintained here. Every year, on the 13th day of the 8th lunar month, Mushroom God Temple Fair in Longyan village holds its annual autumn sacrificial rites.
Pray for the blessing of Duke De Gong on Qingyuan.
Wu Shui Mao from Longyan village is the inheritor of the intangible heritage mushroom folk songs. The person mentioned in his song is Wu Sangong.
After Wu Sangong invented the cultivation technique of mushrooms, we should sing about mushrooms. They were left to us by the ancestors, so folk songs are a unique lifestyle of praising the mushroom.
Why is Wu Sangong known as the mushroom god and admired by all the people? This starts with Wu Sangong's invention of the chop flower technique of mushroom cultivation. The chop flower mushroom cultivation technique can be traced back more than 800 years. In the 4th year of Jianyan period of the Southern Song dynasty, Wu San was born in where is now Longyan village, Baishansu town, Qingyuan County. He grew up tall and strong and was well practiced in martial arts. Once he was burning some charcoal while hunting in the mountains and accidentally discovered that a sort of fungus with intense fragrance was growing out of a cut in the bark of a fallen broadleaf tree. Enlightened by nature, Wu San conducted repeating experiments by cutting down trees and found that more mushrooms would grow out of the fallen trees if he cut more notches into them.
Hundreds of millions of spores are released from inside the mushrooms. You can see them with a camera quite a lot.
It turned out that this was the secret to mushroom reproduction. The natural mushroom spores floating around in the air fall into the axe marks with the wind and germinate into mycelium in the bark. After 2 years of cultivation management in the forest, they grow into mushroom fruiting bodies. The fruiting bodies continue to produce spores, and the cycle repeats over and again. However, this natural approach doesn't always work. Wu San found out that though there were notches cut in some trees, mushrooms did not grow from them for many years. He did not understand why. In a fit of rage, he slammed the tree trunks with his axe. Unexpectedly, This hitting stimulated the germination of the mycelium. After a few days, more and more mushrooms appeared. This is the secret kept by mushroom cultivators of later generations, called the mushroom stimulating technique. After experimenting over a long period, Wu San summarized mushroom producing techniques, such as making mushroom logs, flower chopping, wood shielding, and mushroom stimulating, commonly known as the chop flower technique. This opened the history of human cultivation of edible fungi and introduced a new food source for human beings. Wang Chun, a famous agronomist in the Yuan dynasty, recorded the artificial cultivation method of flower chopping in the chapter Fungus of his Book of Agriculture. This is the earliest historical record about the cultivation of mushrooms to date. Wu San clearly understood the concept of giving to get, so he cut down big trees and let small ones grow. The trees cut down for mushroom cultivation were not removed from the forest and were simply left in the forest to decompose. While the mushrooms are harvested, the soil humus is also increased to provide fertilizer for the regrowth of forest trees. The mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship between the forest and mushrooms has achieved zero damage to the ecological environment, reflecting the superb wisdom of harmonious coexistence between man and nature.
Wu Sangong was not only a farmer, but also an agricultural scientist. He had sharp eyes and precise thinking. As long as he encountered with some phenomenon, he always thought about its cause behind.
In the second half of the 20th century, Wu San and his mother, wife, and children had spread mushroom cultivation techniques for decades, forming a mushroom cultivator region of about 1,300 square kilometers, including the three counties of Longchuan, Qingyuan, and Qingning, centered around Longyan village. Till the reign of Qianlong in the Qing dynasty, there were 150,000 mushroom cultivators in the three counties, and Qingyuan accounted for 90,000. The mushroom god's techniques spread all over the world, and the flourishing mushrooms benefited the people. Wu San's spirit and actions of benefiting the people were deeply admired by all the mushroom cultivators. After Wu San died, the people missed this mortal civilian, so they built a temple and set up a shrine and honored him as Wu Sangong, the god of mushrooms. In Longyan village, genealogy of the Wu clan from the Wanli period of the Ming dynasty has been preserved. There is a clear record inside the book about Wu Sangong. Born on March 17th of the lunar calendar in Jianyan period of the Southern Song dynasty, later he married Liu Xiangxun. Xiangxun was exactly the name of mushroom in ancient times. This genealogy confirms that Wu Sangong did exist in history.
Wu Sangong was from Longyan village. This person really did exist. So why would people of later generations worship him as a god? Because he cultivated mushrooms to benefit the common people. Everyone went to worship him, commemorate him, and honor him as a god.
For the past 800 years, following the footsteps of Wu Sangong, Qingyuan mushroom cultivators have traveled around most parts of China to grow mushrooms all over the country, forming a mushroom group that acquires wealth from mushroom cultivation and trade. This was how the Xianggu mushroom industry came to prosper. When the maple leaves fall, the husbands say farewell to the wife, and when the maples bud, the husband comes back home. This is the migratory life of the mushroom cultivators who leave in winter and return in spring. The journey to the mushroom hut is quite far. The mountain road is long and rugged. All these hardships and dangers are routine to the mushroom cultivators. They are all masters of the outdoor survival. Mushroom cultivators live beside the mountains, work in the mountains, get along with the forest, and grow together with the mushrooms. The mushroom hut is an important place for the mushroom cultivators to live and work. In the mushroom hut, the mushroom farmers can cook on fire and bake the mushrooms. In this virgin forest, they experience the difficulties of life and greet the beautiful dawn in sunshine. For more than 800 years, mushrooms and Qingyuan mushroom cultivators have been dependent on each other. The mushroom has gradually integrated into life from work, giving birth to mushroom cultivator operas, mushroom kung fu, mushroom folk songs, mushroom dialects, mushroom god temple fairs, and so on. All these together make a colorful mushroom farming culture. It has accompanied the mushroom cultivators for generations, becoming the living faith of the local people and the spiritual force for the long-term sustainable development of the mushroom town.
Getting the necessary fund is quite difficult.
Today, in Longyan village, the hometown of Wu San Gong, the ancestor of mushrooms, the villagers are discussing a plan to rebuild Wu San Gong's former residence. This is the common wish of the Wu clan relatives and the mushroom cultivators in the 3 counties of Longchuan, Qingyuan, and Jingning, but they have encountered difficulties in raising construction funds.
The difficulties are really great. Here I make a statement first.
I'll donate 3,000.
I'll donate 1,000 first.
I'll donate 3,000.
You're all donating like this? Is it really so easy to donate? They all treat us like beggars and won't donate a penny. Is that right?
Do you all agree? I agree.
Then we've reached an agreement tonight.
With the strong support of the government and all social sectors, after a few months, more than 1 million RMB yuan of loving donations has been collected. Wu San Gong's former residence, which carries the wishes of the mushroom cultivators, finally starts to build.
Construction of the residence is basically complete. For the next step, I suspect that the descendants of the Wu clan and people from different communities will make a lot more donations. We'll get this done first. It'll be a meritorious deed for us as the descendants of Wu San Gong.
Wu San Gong's contributions were spread overseas, over the ages, promoting the development of the edible fungus industry in other parts of the world. This is a Chinese restaurant in Spain. The chef is making a dish, double fried beef. The most important ingredient is香菇 mushrooms. Supply of this dish always falls short of demand every day.
I know this mushroom is from China. It's very tasty. It's well structured.
Everyone listen up. Are the porcini mushrooms ready to serve?
Chef Chu Lu Di from Qingyuan is leading a team to prepare a mushroom banquet. steamed, boiled, fried, and stewed mushrooms. All kinds of mushrooms are blended together. Mushrooms with mild, elegant tastes and refreshing aromas have become indispensable delicacies for this banquet.
Delicious. A wonderful meal.
For boiled or stewed mushrooms, you have to use these most primitive cooking methods to taste the original deliciousness of the mushrooms. Human consumption of edible fungi has a history of thousands of years. Today, as people's diets are becoming increasingly science-based, mushrooms fit the best dietary structure proposed by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization of one meat dish, one vegetable dish, and one mushroom dish.香菇mushrooms are not only widely consumed as a nutritious food, but also have specific medicinal value. Compendium of Materia Medica points out that mushrooms are of a mild nature, sweet in flavor, and non-toxic. Benjing Fengyuan indicates that mushrooms benefit the stomach very well. The development of modern science has confirmed that香菇mushrooms can reduce cholesterol and also contain various carbohydrates that are good for human health.
香菇as not just nutrition for the body, but also as a health product that will improve the health of those people who consume it on a regular basis.
The mushroom planting season of March and April has arrived again. Today, Lin Hai is going to help his father deliver mushroom logs. The cultivation of香菇mushrooms with sawdust has become the mainstream. This mushroom log factory produces 10,000 mushroom logs every day to meet the demands of the mushroom cultivators. Lin Hai was born in the 1990s. He gave up the opportunity to be a white-collar worker in Ningbo and returned home to start a business.
We will show the most genuine life experience in our Qingyuan mushroom hut
to those tourists who will come to Qingyuan in the future.
Aware of the unique, natural environment of his hometown, Lin Hai considered combining mushroom culture with rural tourism to renovate mushroom huts and build a homestay called Corridor Bridge Hometown. With Lin Hai's constant efforts, it has become a must-visit place for internet influencers. This new farmer who has returned to his hometown needs more than persistence. He also needs to be down to earth with aspiration in heart. Rebuilding the hometown is Lin Hai's goal.
The mode of production is changing, but the only thing that I think remains the same is the Qingyuan people may continue to do this for thousands of years to come. They will continue to work and produce the most delicious香菇 mushrooms in the world.
The time for mushroom planting is the liveliest time every year. All the families in the village help each other to move the mushroom logs and plant the mushroom seeds. They have to work all day long on the tens of thousands of mushroom logs. After finishing work late at 10 p.m., the host family always treats the relatives and friends who helped out with the meal to express their gratitude.
Eggs are a symbol of our wonderful lives. Everyone should eat some eggs today. Let's hope for a good harvest this year. Anyway, everyone please eat up.
Lin Hai keeps a special bond with the villagers. They walked out of the mountains together, say goodbye to poverty, and created the life they had longed for with their own hands.
We rebuild our hometown in the hope that it'll be reborn with new vitality, so that the young people will be willing to go back to find our own roots.
For thousands of years, mushroom cultivation skills have been continuously inherited and developed, from the chop flower technique to the segmented log technique, which involves artificial spawning, and to the current substitute material technique, which uses leftover subsidiary agricultural products such as wood chips and straws to make culture mediums instead of traditional mushroom logs. Although mushroom cultivation techniques have made great progress as time goes by, the ecological circulatory system of forest mushroom co-cultivation has always been passed down from generation to generation. The concept of harmony between man and nature and respect for nature has never changed. It is just because of the Qingyuan mushroom cultivators' efforts in inheriting and developing traditions for generations that the mushroom industry has drawn a magnificent map of development and has become an important agricultural industry benefiting the whole human race.
So, the concept of this system is very interesting. This place has xianggu mushrooms. What's the background of xianggu mushrooms? Large forests. When we learn the concept of Qingyuan xianggu mushrooms, it should be the utilization of a sort of fungus, represented by the Qingyuan xianggu mushroom, on the premise of orderly utilization of forest resources.
This old man named Wu Kedian, despite his age, is still working hard in the field of edible fungi. He is affectionately called the modern-day Wu Sangong and Yuan Longping of the mushroom world. Wu Kedian has been dealing with mushrooms all his life. He led the mushroom cultivators to cultivate mushrooms with new technologies which greatly improved mushroom output and quality. In this way, the Qingyuan mushroom cultivators get rich, and the reputation of Mushroom Town become well known to the outside world.
Being the modern Wu Sangong is not enough. There is no progress without innovation. There must be innovation.
At present, more than 2,000 mushroom town masters in Qingyuan have made their own contributions to poverty alleviation in more than 250 counties of 16 provinces across the country with locally produced mushroom seeds and machinery. Autumn is the season of the rice harvest. The stable climate and altitude of Qingyuan provide an excellent growing environment not only for crops, but also for mushrooms. The fragrance of the mushrooms floats in the hut. Wu Shui Mao has been waiting for this harvest for months. The rugged mountain roads have accompanied Wu Shui Mao for more than 60 years. Only himself can understand the hardships all along the way. Dozens of kilometers away, in the mushroom hut of Lin Hai's family, standardized planting modes have brought a lot of benefits to the mushroom cultivators here. In order to prolong the expiration date, most of the fresh mushrooms will be sold to markets all over the country after being basked and dried. The ancient baking methods have been preserved in Longyan village. The flame is the key to unlocking the form of the mushroom. Time is the magic code to making the mushrooms delicious. A symphony of freshness and fragrance is drawn out over a long wait. Wu Shui Mao loves singing. He can't live through a single day without singing for a while. His favorite songs are mushroom folk songs. As the inheritor of this intangible heritage, over the past decades, Wu Shui Mao has been tirelessly singing from the mountainous regions to the provincial capital and from real life to online shows. But not many people interact with him online. This is what Wu Shui Mao worries about most. There are fewer and fewer young people who can sing mushroom folk songs.
No matter what, I will definitely pass them on within my lifetime. If I don't, I'll feel ashamed of myself.
Our ancestors invented mushroom cultivation techniques, and the current cultivation is succession to them.
This is also what Wu Xiaojin, Vice Magistrate of Qingyuan County, is worried about. As times change, mushroom culture, including the chopped flower technique, mushroom kung fu, and mushroom folk songs, has gradually declined. As a descendant of Wu Sangong, Wu Xiaojun shoulders heavy burden. He has not only come to the mushroom hut to do live streaming to sell mushrooms, but also starts learning mushroom folk songs.
My feelings for mushrooms come from the bottom of my heart. The 800-year history of the construction of Qingyuan is also the history of the development of the mushroom industry. What's more, my ancestors pushed this technology to the top of the world more than 800 years ago. Qingyuan is the birthplace of xianggu mushrooms in the world. So we have a responsibility and an obligation to do more in this regard.
Mushroom, oh mushroom! There's no fun when it rains or snows. The stone on the mountain is used as a bench to sit on. The birds in the forest crow like roosters.
In Longyan village, the hometown of Wu Sangong, the villagers have finally reached the day when construction of the former residence of the ancestor of mushrooms is completed.
The former residence has been grandly rebuilt after centuries, and the descendants of Wu Sangong have flourished.
On the playground, mushroom kung fu has become an exercise performed during breaks between lessons in Chengdong Primary School in Qingyuan County. In the classroom, mushroom cultivator operas have also become the most popular option for children's interest classes. Day after day, year after year, the mission of inheritance is engraved in the memory of the children. In the ancient town, Lin Hai has also fulfilled one of his wishes. The cultural and creative center, which retains the characteristics of a mushroom hut, has been renovated and welcomes guests from all over. And deep in the mountains, a mushroom emerges from a segmented log in the mushroom chop flower technique production protection base. One mushroom equals to one world. Every mushroom is a product of time. Qingyuan mushrooms, which have lasted for thousands of years, are natural totems in the mountains, the living faith of the Qingyuan people, and a classic model of harmonious coexistence between man and nature. Traditions will be inherited and innovated with a more open and inclusive attitude, and a mushroom fragrance will spread to the whole world.